Well, g'day, Adam. Adam, of course, you're our motorsport person in the club. So I'd like to ask you a few questions today, if that's all right.
No.
Well, that's a good start with the interview.
It's not all right. What am I doing here?
All right, Adam. You've been in the job now for a few years. How's the state of play with motorsport?
Generally, Frank, it's going pretty well. My emphasis, I think, over the past few years has been streamlining the motorsport side of the club rather than expanding the program as such, although I'm quite interested in expanding the program in order to create more diversity within our activities.
When you're saying that about you want to expand, so what is new and upcoming in motorsport, and is the motorsport changing in our club or not?
There's nothing new as such, and that is to say I haven't invented any brand new events, but what I am encouraging people to do, and in the structure of our points scoring system within the motorsport competition, is to try other events. Basically, instead of just doing track like everybody does, that they should do motorcarners and hill climbs and other forms of motorsport that require slightly different but still basically the same skills. It's my observation in my limited experience in motorsport, which is that the more you diversify, the better your driving becomes overall, and that includes on the street as well as on the track, or at the hill climb, or on the motor car, or whatever you do.
Now we've got a lot of we've seen a lot of new stuff, as in the skid pan, more driver training, and is that something that you think we should be doing?
Well, that is the number one request from within the club membership, as evidenced by our survey last year. And when I talk to people and people ring me up and they say, you know, what about driver training? And that's sort of one of our core promises. And it's really surprising, it's like a core promise from us, but it is the hardest thing to deliver because it's so expensive. And it's really hard for us to make as a club, to be able to afford to make a really meaningful contribution towards your driver training. And a question there is too, with our club members, so as you know, there's a big diversity in the membership between age and activities and gender and all the rest of it. Some people just want to go for Sunday drives, other people want to do motorsport. And so therefore, driver training requirements are very different between those two groups. People who want to do advanced driver training for road has a completely different skill set and knowledge set to those who want to improve their high performance driving for track. Completely different types of training altogether. So it's what I'm saying there also, I guess it's hard to design something that's going to suit everybody, and it's hard to go to any one provider and get the training that's going to suit the widest group within the club. So for an example for that is the upcoming skid pan. I've taken the plunge and ordered a full day, or booked a full day for it for 24 participants. And it's a fairly generalised sort of activity, but we're still struggling to get the numbers to make that. So it's hard to actually get exactly the right offering that's going to suit enough people in the club to make it viable, if that makes sense.
Okay, mate, so obviously you've done your part. Are we getting enough participation from our members to make these things viable?
The short answer is no, but the longer answer is we always invite what we call other makes to participate in our events, and that's what helps keeps them financially viable. Over the past 4 years that I've got records for, the actual attendance at events by MX5 club members has been quite consistent, normally at about 75 to 80% of participants, and that seems to be about, and there's a variety of different participants. It's not just the same people all the time, but it is pulling from the same group of people all the time. So I think we've actually probably maxed out on the number of participants from within the club. So we still need to keep doing the other mates participation. And I think it's just the demographics of the club. And also there's a lot of people who've done their time on the track. You know, they've done that, they've done the racing, they've done the motor cars, the hill climbs, whatever, and they don't feel like they want to do that anymore. They're happy just to go for social outings and drives in the country, and that's good. I mean, people move on. I can't really expect, I don't think in all fairness, to ask those people to come back and participate in motorsport events just to keep them viable if they're not really that interested anymore. And let's face it, your body and your reflexes do wear out. So there is a natural attrition within the club for people who are doing that.
So we've had an influx of new members. Do you think that we may be about to get another kick-off, and with a whole bunch of new people who may be interested in more motorsport?
Yes, but people come and go. So there's, as I said, there's basically two different types of people who join the club. There's people who bought an MX-5 for the first time, and they're looking for like-minded people to share their MX-5 with. And then there's the people who want to do motorsport, and their car of choice has been an MX-5. So they've come to the club to do motorsport with their MX-5. They haven't bought an MX-5 and then wanted to join an MX-5 club as such, if you understand what I'm saying. So, and a lot of the people, it's great to have the ND, because it's attracted quite a lot of attention to the MX-5 brand, if you like. But I can't see too many of those people of that group coming to do motorsports because it's quite an expensive vehicle for most people. So they don't want to take the risk on the track, or they feel it's not the right place to be trying out their vehicle. Having said that, there are many non-track events which are of much lower risk. For example, the skid pan, which we do have actually a guy who's just bought a brand new ND and he's coming to that, so that's great. But there's more lower risk events if you want to use your brand new shiny car without too much risk, and there are other ways of doing it. But our emphasis in the MX-5 Club has been on track days, and that's probably not the best place to start in a shiny new car, especially if you're not experienced.
Now I'm going to ask you to drag out your crystal ball here. Where do you see motorsport heading, and do we need more specialised events like you were just talking about, or should we stick to a tried and tested formula?
So the answer to your question is influenced by one word, and that word is insurance. So motorsport, like all activities in Australia, is going to be driven by liability issues. And in particular the way motorsport is organised and offered, it will need to be offered more as a product, and it needs to be offered professionally, and everybody needs to have their insurance and keep their, if I may say so, keep their asses covered, because unfortunately Australia is a very litigious society, and if something goes wrong, people will always look for someone else to blame. So what that means is motorsport activities are going to become increasingly professionally organised and managed, and for our point of view, I think that's probably a good thing because it gives us access to more types of events. It also means that if we've got someone, for example, like Queensland Raceway managing events, then the financial risks moves to Queensland Raceway and away from us. Because it is a risk, putting on an event is a risk. For example, upcoming event at Norwell at the Gold Coast, that's the $10,000 the club's got to put its hand in its pocket for. So it's a significant risk if we don't get 40 people to that event. So the future of motorsport is going to be more business and less mum and dad run. That's how I feel anyway. It's just, for example, for me, I don't want to lose my house. Not when I'm trying to give other people an opportunity to have some fun. And I don't want someone to turn around and say, listen buddy, I hit that cone over there and I scratched my car, it's your fault. What are you going to do about it?
And just to round off now, I was going to ask you about levels of participation, and are we getting enough helpers at these types of events?
Right. So this is a pretty good link to the previous question actually about the future of motorsport, and our track days have become very relatively easy to manage because most of the operational side of it, that helpers, are now provided by Queensland Raceway, and we pay them for that. So consequently, the organisational side is pretty much a question of how much effort do I want to put into it. How much communication do I want to make? What form will that take? And on the day, if I'm not at an event, then I can call in a few helpers, but really it's just collecting a bit of paperwork. And also we have a bit of a novices session, which is one of our more experienced people will take. But even at that, we've only started doing that because of the absence of that service from Queensland Raceway at our track days.
And Adam, can I ask you, what are the most common questions that are asked of you as competition secretary?
The most common question, Frank, is someone will pick up the phone and they say, Adam, I've just bought an MX-5, I'd like to come and try a track, what do I need to do? And my answer to that is always very little. Don't start modifying your car until you've come to track and see what it's like. MX-5s are great as they are, just make sure your car's got reasonable brakes, as in good condition, tyres are in good condition, change your fluids, and have the necessary safety gear, which really is just long sleeve shirt, jeans and a helmet. The second question I get most asked, and this is because people hear about how great our track days are, is Adam, I don't own an MX-5, but I've got another car that I want to bring to track. Can I come along to your track days? And my answer to that is absolutely you can. We love to have other makes along. It adds interest to our track days, it makes it more viable, and as long as you play nicely with us, you're more than welcome. And playing nicely just means recognising that our MX-5s are not blindingly fast in straight lines, so you need to, but they might be faster in lap times than your GTR, for example, and you just need to organise yourself around us to make sure that you're not holding us up in the corners or whatever. So the answer is yes, you're welcome, just play nicely please.
So Adam, how do our club members and other members get access to the information that they need about these events and the other motorsport events?
Frank, there's three common ways to get information about what's happening at MX5 Club of Queensland. One is on our website, under the motorsport section, you'll find out what the next event is and upcoming events. The second is to go to the forum where there's informal discussions about what's happening at MX5 Club of Queensland. That's mx5cartalk.com. But the best way is to subscribe to my email list, which is exclusively for MX5 Club of Queensland events or MX5 suited events that are happening in South East Queensland. The email list can be subscribed to by members and non-members, and it's important to note if you're a club member, you are not automatically on this list. You must subscribe. So to subscribe, it's just a simple matter of following the link that's somewhere on the page near me, and then I'll be sending you emails direct to your email box, and you can find out what events are upcoming and what organisational requirements there are, and updates about events. Is the best way. Even if you just want to be nosy and find out what other people are doing, you'll even see lists of who's going to what event, etc., and the results, of course.
Okay, Adam, I'm sorry, but that's about all we've got time for. I'd like to say on behalf of the club, thank you so much for being the person that does run the motorsport, because you have done a fabulous job in the last couple of years. Unfortunately, I haven't made myself available for some of those events, but I'm looking forward to some of your skid pans and all the rest of it. So on behalf of the club, I'd like to say thank you, and thank you very much for the interview.
Thanks, mate.